Hey, good evening, folks. We're back here for another episode of Let's Go Fishing. And my guest tonight is a TWRA Officer Jason Lankford. And Lankford, we'd sure thank you for being on the show. And I'm going to tell you what we got planned. While we're showing our crappie fishing film, Jason's going to be getting prepped for your all's questions. So when we get through talking about the fishing film, we'll come back to Jason and answer any questions you all may have. I've got some rigs sitting here on the desk because there is some rule changes. He's got the Tennessee Fishing Guide with him, and Jason's well adversed on what's going on with the new rule changes on the lures and license and that kind of thing. And he's from Region 4, and Milton Hill's kind of the dividing point between Region 4 and Region 3. So he's going to be talking to us about a lot of things, and hopefully you'll have some good questions for him, and we'll have a good show. Jason, you got anything you want to say before we get to these questions?
No, I look forward to it. Hope everybody has some good questions, and we'll try to answer all we can.
Well, I'm glad he and I got acquainted here about an hour ago, and he's a dang good feller, and he is a fisherman. So, that, to me, that makes a lot of difference. And he's from down the Ray County way, and even though he's working in Region 4 up here, he's from down that way. So, but he is a fisherman, and I really think that helps him do a better job of what we need and help protect us and protect our resources and that kind of thing. So I'm glad to hear that. Tonight's film, I think you're going to enjoy it. We were down at Blue Springs Sunday. I got called there Sunday morning and was invited to do some filming. They didn't say anything about me fishing, but wanted to know if I wanted to go film. And I took them up on it. That was with Mike Cox and Brad Lockett. And so we went down to Blue Springs, and man, the crappie are biting, is all I can say. So anyway, there's also some other fishermen we ran into down there. We got some information, some good tips from them. They're catching crappie from 3 foot to 30 foot. They're trolling floaters, planer boards, this kind of stuff, casting grubs, just about any way you want to catch them. And right now, it seems like it's working. So get your John Deere green grub ready and get after them. Also, during the filming today, I kind of got up with our sponsors, and there's a little, man, I tell you what, I rolled in down Jerry's Bait Shop, and boy, it's a good lunch. So anyway, you'll see what I'm talking about during all this, and we're going to let Courtney take us to the film. Let's go fishing. We're going out here today, and I'm going to try to get you a crappie film. The one I messed up on, so we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully get to show it there Thursday night on the show. You have a good day. Thank you.
Now, what do you put? Let up on it?
No. Look here. Yeah, okay.
Should record.
Hey, folks, this is Steve with Let's Go Fishing. We're down here at Blue Springs on Watch Bar. Going to try to get a little crappie film today for you, so we'll be filming during the day, let you know how it turns out. Thank you. Hey, folks, we've run into Tom Walker here from Oak Ridge. He's been telling us he's been killing these crappie down here on a little yellow grub. About 14 to 18 feet, Tom?
Yes, sir.
All right. Maybe we'll check with him later on today, see how Tom's doing, and he may have a boatload of crappie. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, buddy.
There's Mike with the first crappie. He says it's a small one. Mike's got a buddy of his, Brad Lockett, in the boat with him today, and we're going to be filming Mike and Brad on this crappie pond here and see how they do. Watching Mike's action with that rod tip. barely moving. Real subtle motion there on his rod tip. Give you a little shot of the electronics here, showing the fish down on the bottom. Temperature 46.3. Mike thinks we're in the right place. Let's get them to bite. Hey, we've made 2 or 3 stops here in Blue Springs, and Brad's got a nice crappie. Mike just missed one. We're on the 3rd stop coming out of the creek here, and maybe things will pick up. Hey, we've made another stop here, and Brad's got another good crappie. Mike just missed one, so they may be on to something here. We're out here next to the Narrows here, coming out of Blue Springs, and seen a lot of fish on the depth finder. Got 2 out of this hole on how this stopped so far, so we may be on to a big mess of crappie here. Mike said we moved out a little deeper, here in 27, 28 feet right now. Showing a lot of fish on the depth finder, and we'll stick with it here a few minutes and see if we can't find out exactly what's going on. All right, Mike seems to have a pretty good crappie on here now. Let's see, Mike. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah. Well, we've fooled around here on this spot, and I think they've caught 4 or 5 and got a good one here. Maybe there's some more around. Hey, we've run across Nathaniel Smith and Don McCamey out here, and man, they got 2 nice crappie and plus about 10 or 12 more in the box. And give us a little insight on what's going on, guy.
That's the man right here. He knows. You caught it, you tell him. He's just trolling.
Just trolling?
Alabama rig.
Yeah. Using grubs, minnows?
Yeah, grubs.
Grubs?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, guys, I appreciate you. We'll have you on TV there Thursday night, Channel 12. Hope you get to watch it.
Channel 12.
Thank you. Here a couple of times, and finally found a pretty good little school of crappie here. Mike's got one, Brad just missed one, so we're still working on them. He's got several in the box. Well, looks like Brad's got on another one back here. Yeah. I'm gonna swing around here and get a shot of the electronics here. You can see a lot of stuff down there on the bottom, up suspended some bubbles coming up. So we're just gonna sit right here for a few minutes there and see how they do. Got Mike on the camera here and watching this action on his rod and see if we can catch the next bite here. Well, I think Brad's connected on one back here in the back of the boat now, and what do you think, Brad?
Wrong species.
Wrong species?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we don't want to show him on camera then. Yeah, Brad, them show up sometimes whenever you're crappie fishing like this. Probably a little more than you do when you're fishing with a floater or in there a little shallower, wouldn't you think?
I would say so.
Mike's pretty good at putting you on them catfish too, isn't he, Brad?
Yeah.
Yeah, what I thought. He tries to catch the crappie and leave you the cats. Is that the way he does? A little cool out here today. The wind's kind of hampered us quite a bit, making it hard to stay where it seems we're getting the bites at anyway. Brad's got another one here. All right, Brad. Brad, what's your depth showing on your fish locator there right now?
27 foot.
27 foot, okay. Mike's got one on up here in the front, so they've seemed to found them here on this drop-off. Yeah, all right. I don't know, Mike, that in there is pretty small.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll keep, will you?
No, we'll throw him back.
Mike, that last one you caught there, it was on the top hook, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's on top hook.
Okay.
About 30 foot.
Well, Brad, he kind of jerked, and I believe he missed one. Had another bite anyway, didn't you, Brad?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of getting, wind's calming down a little bit, making it a little easier for them to stay on their fish, and getting a lot more bites than what they did there earlier in the day. All right, Mike's got another bite here. He's got one hooked up. So you think it's a catfish, Mike?
Oh, it's good.
No, good crappie looks like. Okay, I'm glad he misjudged that one.
Slammed it awful hard.
All right, we're going to swing around here at the back of the boat, and Brad's got him one on again.
It's wrong species.
Another wrong species. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Brad. I think Mike has got you on top of the cats, and he's up here catching the crappie. He hit good, didn't he, Brad?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, at least you got the jerk when he bit.
Got the jerk when they bite.
Yep. Well, Mike's got his rod bent down here. I think he may have something on the line. Yeah, small crappie again, he said. Mike, you're going to have to get us back on some good size.
Yeah. Get the fishing picture out.
Brad, if Mike doesn't start doing better on his guiding, we're going to have to hunt us down the boat and talk to somebody that might be catching something. Well, he's got another one up here, he said. Swing around and see what he's got. Is that a keeper, Mike?
That's good.
All right. Now, Brad, I noticed you missed that fish, and he was up on the top hook. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah. All right. Most of your fish coming on the bottom hook or
Top.
on the top? All right. So you're basically up about, what, 20, 24 inches off the bottom?
Yep.
That's kind of what I saw on the fish finder there a while ago. Fish seems to be up a little bit off the bottom, not necessarily right on the bottom.
Wind trying to get a little rough again.
Yeah, wind's picking back up. I hope the volume's good on our film here. Mike, what kind of structure we got right here?
Got a creek channel drop right here. That's a rock on the side of it coming down through here. A few stumps. Rolls off from anywhere 14, 15 feet down to about 34, 35. We seem to be tucked in here about 28 to 32 on the side of it here.
All right.
Yeah, right.
Well,
man.
looks
Wrong
like
species.
Brad's hooked up again. He's called it, says wrong species. He must know pretty good on the catfish, I guess. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay, Brad, we'll cut the camera off. Brad, I want you to make sure that Carol watches the show Thursday night, because all them times you've been fishing and or told her you was going fishing, we got proof this time. So you make sure that she catches the show and you know, gets to see this film, and that way you know, it's proven fact. Picture's worth 1,000 words, you know. So make sure Carol gets to watch that show Thursday night. We're back in action back here again. Brad's got another one. I don't know, Brad, is that a keeper?
Pretty small.
Pretty small, okay. All right, we know what to do with them. Go on back and let them grow up. It's good to see those small fish. That way we know they are reproducing and filling the lake back full of keeper crappie. Yeah, Brad's hooked up again back here. That didn't take but just a minute. So,
Wrong species.
wrong species again, he said. All right, well, we'll swing up here and see if Mike can get hooked up.
Fish ours on the top hook.
All right, Brad, I'm going to get a little shot of what you got in the live well here. I'm thinking you're going to give them to Mike to take home, ain't you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. The cameraman's supposed to get the fish. You know, that's just part of the rules. Since he didn't get to help catch them, he's supposed to get to take them home and eat them. So looks like a pretty good little basket there so far, Brad. Hey, it's getting dark. Sun's went down. These guys have had a heck of a day fishing, and I mean, there's Mike with 2 big crappie, and they've several more in the box, and they've just had a wonderful day. You know, I'd say they're probably bumping for the 3 of us in the boat in the neighborhood of 40 crappie, maybe a few less or a few more than that, but we're not over our limit. So they've had a heck of a day fishing. So we'll put them back in the box and get loaded up and head up the road. Hey folks, showed you their fish there, a couple of them, what they caught today, and they've had a heck of a day fishing. Remember, when you go into our sponsors for anything or whatever, mention the Let's Go Fishing show, so we can keep continuing this thing on and making it better. So appreciate you and want to thank you. Remember our sponsors. Thank you.
Okay, folks, I hope you enjoyed that film on catching those crappie. I want to thank the guys at Tom Walker. He's been catching his crappie on a little old yellow and white chartreuse-tailed grub. He's shared that information with us down there, and thank you, Tom, for that. We got Nathaniel Smith and Don McCamey. They were catching their fish on several different ways. They had a floater with a grub behind it, about 3 foot deep, using minnows and you know, trolling. They just right now it seems like about anything you want to do down there, you can catch you some crappie. So if you're not getting them, you just need to get on the water for sure. I want to thank the Ledbetter family. I want to thank them tonight before we get to talking to Jason here. And I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a little break, and then we'll be right back, and we're going to turn the phone on and let y'all call in here and talk to Jason. Hey, hello, folks. This is Steve Cox with Let's Go Fishing. I'm by a bunch marine down here today, and just wanted to give you a little update on what's going on. They're preparing for another boat show, so if you get a chance and need to come by or need something, come by here and look at these beautiful boats they got. They've got Ranger, they've got Tritons, they've got the South Bay pontoon boat for you pleasure boaters. They've got the Bryant bow rider. So come by here and check them out. They have the Triton aluminum boat, and they also have the Low aluminum boat. So get by here and see Curtis and his staff. And if you need something in the boat line, come by here and check with them. They've got a nice display here of boats for you to look at, and I'm sure they'll do everything they can to satisfy your needs. And we want to thank them for being a sponsor on the Let's Go Fishing show. Thank you. We're going to show you just a little bit of what happens when you go fishing. I got Dusty, Matt,
Try Rusty.
Rusty, excuse me. Got Rusty and Matt and Jace. And listen, I hope you can see what's going on here. We're dropping these crappie fillets in this hot oil. So we're going to have a little bite to eat here in a few minutes. And these guys went out yesterday evening. I'm going to let them tell us about their fishing trip.
Well, you know, we just kind of, it's pretty cold and water temperature around 42 degrees. And we've been spending the past couple of months putting brush piles out. We wound up catching them in about 14 foot of water, mainly on jigs. We caught them on a green weenie grub that Donna sells up here. I guess we kept, what, a dozen or so? About a dozen. In about an hour and a half.
Oh man, that sounds good. Rusty, you got anything you want to add to that? I mean, other than, man, it's almost eating time.
I didn't have a big enough suitcase and I didn't have near enough clothes on yesterday. I about froze to death, but it was worth it, and the show will be worth it here in about 30 minutes.
All right, guys. Man, boy, they're smelling good. I'm telling you, people, if the crappie are biting on watch bar, and the film I've got for the show tonight will be also about the crappie trip that took place Sunday. So we're going to get back in here. If you need some bait, tackle to catch these fish, come on down here and see Donna Jo. She's got a nice store here, and it's packed full of fishing supplies of all types, rods, reels, any kind of tackle that you think of. So come give them a call and check with them, visit with them, and look around, and I guarantee you they'll help you find what you're looking for to catch these crappie. Thank you. All right, man, those fish were good, people. I'm telling you, I couldn't have timed it any better. All right, now listen, we're gonna. She's going to turn the phones on, and Jason's going to kind of be here listening. And if you've got any questions, if you don't call in, then it's your own fault if you don't find out what you want to find out. And I've got some questions for him here myself. So let's light up the lines and make this guy feel like he's welcome. And Jason, let's see. I'll while we're waiting on that first call. I want to tell you guys about fishing report on Chickamauga. Troy Jones, y'all may know Troy. He had a good trip this past weekend on Chickamauga. It is just unreal. So the bass are biting down there really well. and later on in the show when we do an Edgemore tackle break here, I'm not going to ruin it. We'll let Jim tell you about it. His son down at Chickamauga yesterday, so we'll save that. But Bobby Cardwell been catching a lot of fish on Douglas. Just just getting better all the time. And here goes our first call, so we'll see what's going on here. I'm hoping I'm going to do this right.
To search for the name you wish to dial, press a scroll key. Invalid entry.
Now, hello.
Invalid entry. Invalid entry.
I'll get it in a second. Hello.
Hey, Steve Cox.
Yes, sir.
Jack Brains.
Hello, Jack.
Fine. What do you got sitting there on your left?
I got a dandy right here, Jack. He might be a keeper.
Well, he might. Ask him why when they getting ready to put Christmas trees out. That's what there used to be an old project he used to help us with. When Deb sank the boat that time, we had a bunch of fun. But I just wanted to be sure to remind you that we're going to try to reorganize Tennessee Sportsman the 14th, the second Thursday of March at 7 o'clock. So we got to elect officers. Deb passed away; he's treasurer, so we got to reorganize things. And I want to congratulate you for getting the show going back. You did a good job, burning those guys catching those fish. Yeah, I couldn't stand it. That'd be a little cold for me out there.
Yeah, it was a little cold, a little windy, Jack, but it paid off, man. Let me tell you what, I conned them out of them fish. I don't know if you heard that part really well, but I told them the cameraman was supposed to get the fish since I didn't get to help catch them. And I got them. Boy, I tell you what, man, I had a pan full. But they done really good, and everybody's catching crappie down there right now. So
I was over to the boat show. We was over there, and my buddy Ronnie Norton bought one of those new Lowe's fishing boats. We went by and seen a bunch, and I think I talked to you. It was over, and it flooded the big lake over the water. You couldn't park down the front; you had to park up the back.
Right.
And when he went down there, he did trade. Got him a nice brand new. We hadn't got to Creston yet. It's been a little bit too cold for us old guys.
I heard that, Jack. I'm proud you called in, and I hope everybody's listening about the Tennessee Sportsman Association, 14th, second Thursday of March, and we'll get back to it. You got anything you want to ask Jason except for Christmas?
We're going to be meeting at Clinton Community Center, where it probably will be, because we're trying to get a room, talk to several people, and we'll get that on Wish also. We'll get it in the courier, but we need everybody to get out, so this will be our first meeting, because I've had some sickness and had some problems with my wife. So, but we'll get and keep the game warden out there with us and have some fun out of him. He's good.
All right, Jack. Thanks for calling in, and I hope everybody heard that good information.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay, Jack. Thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
Well, anyway, we'll go back to a couple of other things here right quick. Like I said, I saw Bobby Cardwell up at the Edgemore Tackle. Also down at Jerry's Bait Shop today, met a guy, and I cannot remember his name. His last name was Smith, but he was world-renowned duck caller. He was down there at Jerry's Bait Shop today, run into him, and he was from out in Arkansas way, and so I hate that I can't remember his name, but it's good to meet people. I told everybody I've just met a whole bunch of people, and all of them just great, and I appreciate Jack letting there, and hope everybody calls in, and I'd like to think that we're doing good getting this show back on the air. We do need it here, like I told you on the first show. There's too much water available here, and Jason, you can attest to that. You've been on all the lakes up here in Region 4, and so we need this show, and to help you guys pass along things that you, and if there's anything right now you want to pass along right now, get a good time to do it.
Well, I can't think of anything. Like I said, I hope folks call in. I hope they have some questions, what's on their mind. Wasn't a lot of changes this year, but on length limits or anything like that. But like I say, if anybody's got any questions, I hope you do call.
Well, I'm gonna start out while we're waiting on one. Is this Tennessee rig? Let's get it on the show. I know the TWRA's changed their ruling on it.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So
tweaked it.
I've got these things laying here, folks, and I'm gonna hand them to you, Jason, and you tell me if it's legal or not legal, and tell me what you see on there.
All right. This one right here would be a legal bait under the new regulation. Under the old regulation, it's got 3 wires. It's got 3 baits that each have a single hook. Wouldn't matter if these were treble hooks, but 1 set of hooks or 3 set of hooks total is what we're looking at right there. And that one would be legal, and that's a dandy fish catcher right there. I mean.
All right, now I'm gonna hand you another one here, and now this one's got 5 wires on it.
Yeah.
Tell me about
Yeah,
it.
the new regulation. That one's still legal. You know, last year, y'all, 5 wires. If it had 5 wires, really you'd only have one bait with hooks on it, but you still got that, and you've got 2. You know, if you want to fish a little deeper, you've got 2 extra weights right here, but you've just got 3 baits with hooks and with a hook, and yes, sir, that's as legal as it comes.
All right, I tell you, we're batting, we're 2 for 2 right now, folks. Now let's give him something else here to look at.
All right. Now this is another one. This is a 5 wire, still legal. Got 3 hooks. Now it's got this one. If you notice, it's got teasers.
Mm-hmm.
Got some extra lures on here, but there's no hooks attached to those lures. So you know, legal beagle. You could put another teaser of some kind. You could. I know a lot of people will put another swim bait right here on these other 2, and another swim bait will have without a hook, and just attach that like these are the swim baits. These are soft plastics. That's a common rig, and they'll put another one right there without a hook.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's I
problems.
wanted you to clarify. It's all about the hooks.
All about the hooks, yes, sir.
It's all about the hooks. So, and if you get a Tennessee fishing guide, and these books are the new 2013 year model is out, and they're at our sporting goods stores. So you need to go by there and pick you up one. And you go to page 8, and it shows you right there example of a legal umbrella rig. So if you need to get that for sure, and look that thing over, because there is a lot of verifications and of what's going on with that thing, and it's all about the number of hooks.
Number of hooks.
So that makes a lot of difference. Jason, another question. Life jackets. What age do you have to? Certain small kids have to, up to a certain age, have to wear their life jacket continuously when they're in the boat. What age is that stops at?
If they're 12 years old or under, I like to say under 13. If they're under 13, if that boat is not tied up, it actually says docked, moored, or grounded, or anchored.
Okay.
So basically, at a dock, tied up to something, grounded, pulled up on the bank or whatever. As long as they're afloat and they're not tied up to something, a kid under 13 has to have that life preserver on.
Okay. All
and,
right.
and they have to have it on at all times. Yeah, it's a good thing.
No doubt.
It's a good thing.
That's why I wanted to clarify. I've got a little grandson, 11 years old, and at times we have to tussle. He gets a little hot and he wants to take his life jacket, but we take it off, take his jacket off, and then put the life jacket back on, and that kind of thing. But that was a good thing, and you need to keep those life jackets on. Now, if you're out here on a pontoon boat and you're a bunch of adults, what's the rule? You don't have to wear your life jacket, but
no, you got to have any boat. You have to have a life jacket for every person on board, and it must be able to fit each person on board. You couldn't have a bunch of adults and have a couple of
kitty jackets.
Right.
I understand. All right. Don't want anybody to get in trouble looks like we're getting a couple of calls here, and we'll, quick as Courtney gives us the okay, we'll take another call. Yellow.
Yeah, I got a couple questions. On, like culling fish, you got, 2 people fishing, you got 30 crappie. Can you cull?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If let's say they're on a live well or whatever, if the fish are alive, you can cull those fish.
Okay, and as far as the umbrella rig, as long as you got 5 wire, as long as you got number 6 hook or smaller, can you use all 5?
Well, they've changed that this year. The hook size is non. It's not a determining factor anymore. And the sabiki rig is one that you may be thinking of. And let's see, this talk about the statewide the restriction. It does not apply to the sabiki rig or the piscatori rig, which are a set of small lures along a single line. But if you've got more than one arm, you can only have 3 hooks, no matter what size.
Okay, so they changed that from number 6 last year.
Well, it came out with a number 6, yes, sir. That was the original.
3 is the most you can have on the umbrella rig, no matter what.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But now you could have 3 treble hooks. I mean, that's one variance of that. If you had a swim bait or whatever that had a treble hook.
What would that matter as far as, I know, like Alabama, why is it much different here than it is in Alabama?
That's a good question. There's just it's different state to state. I can't answer that as far as why Alabama does what they do and why Tennessee does what we do, but I do know that there was an effort to be a little more or be a little less restrictive on this and try to make it more streamlined, and that's the stance the agency's taking.
I guess that's pretty much what I want to know. That I couldn't hardly understand why one state beats much different, and I mean Tennessee seems like they go in. Of course, I did a lot of fishing, and my buddy, me and him fish all over, and we do pretty good no matter what. But I just couldn't understand why that it would matter, how many you had as long as you only fishing it on one rod.
And that's a good point. That's a good point. Some states just allow 1 lure. Some allow 5 lures. Some allow 6. I think Tennessee's, and I may be wrong on this, but I get the feeling that the agency was just trying to find a middle ground there and not be as restrictive to have 1, but a little closer to, let somebody have a couple more. You can have more baits, you just can't have but 3 hooks.
Well, I understand what you're saying there, but it'd be kind of hard to keep, like 5 lures on when you've got 3 hooks, because it'd be awful hard to keep 2 on without a hook.
Right. I've seen a common thing that I've seen is where people will take a little screw keeper, and they'll put a little weight in that little screw keeper that sometimes you put as a trailer or whatever.
Right.
There's several options, but yeah, I agree with you. That's something that a person's got to figure out there.
And I'll say this, caller, you might, if you're fishing a tournament, I would, see how they're going to recognize that. The Heartland anglers, I was told they were only going to recognize a 3-wire rig. If you were throwing a 5-wire rig, I don't know whether they would honor that. So if I was fishing a tournament with I would definitely check into that if I intended fishing it.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, and thanks a lot. I know last year, as long as you had number 6 hooks or less, you could use 5. And so that's changed this year.
Are you using it for crappie? Is that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I understand the difference.
Well, listen, thanks for your call, and call back.
Thank you.
All right, buddy, thank you. Okay, listen, we're going to take just a minute here and take a little break, and we'll get a drink of water while you all watch one sponsor. Here in Harriman, and Glenn's got this beautiful Phoenix boat sitting here under his shed, and got it uncovered here, and I thought I'd just get a picture of it and let you look at it, give you some of the features on it. It's the Pro 721 XP, got a 250 on it, and Mercury. Man, it's a nice looking boat. You need to stop by down here at Glenn's and check this Phoenix boat out. I don't know a lot about them. I know it's pretty, is all I can tell you. I haven't rode in one. Can't wait till I do. So come by down here and see Glenn, check out the Phoenix boat, and check out the other brands if you're looking for something else besides the Phoenix. See what Glenn's got. You know, he's got Allison's, Bullets, got the Express aluminum boats. So come on by and check with Glenn, see what he's got to offer, and I'm sure he'll do his best to take care of you. And remember, Glenn, he's one of the sponsors on the Let's Go Fishing. Thank you. Hey folks, we came by the sign shop, one of the sponsors for the Let's Go Fishing show, and seemed like they're all out. I did talk to the owners, and they were out on the job, so we thought we'd just get a couple of minutes here in front of the store and some of their advertisements and let you see what kind of work they do, and maybe if you need some of that done, you can get with them and come by and let them see if they can help. You know, they've got screen painting, sign making of all types, commercial and residential. So as you can see right here by the front, you know, they do good work, and just come by and check with them. If you've got any kind of thing pertaining to signs or posters that you'd like to have done, please give them a call and check with them and see if they can take care of what you need. And we appreciate them sponsoring the Let's Go Fishing show, and hope you'll do business with them and help them. And see you later on tonight. Thank you. All right, we're back with Jason Lankford again, and we had a little question here while we're on break there, and about these life preservers. You know, they're type 3, type 4, type 5, type 1. So Jason, tell us a little bit about these things. What's legal and what's not on?
Well, all right. You know, generally, what your vest type is what the majority of people wear right now, and that's a type 3. That one right there, it'll keep you afloat, but it won't necessarily keep your head up.
Right.
And then if you go to a type, that's a type 3. Type 2, they will. That's kind of like your the horse collar type.
Okay,
you know, they'll kind of keep you up a little bit and keep your head a little bit. Well, if you see like on the Coast Guard ships and stuff, most people don't have type 1s, but those are the ones. If you fall in the water and you are totally unconscious, they will keep your head and everything floating. It'll hold you up. Now we go on down to the type 4, which is one we ask about a lot, and that's a throwable. Type 4 throwable device. That's your little throw cushion. Okay. Boats over 16 feet and over require those. They're required to have at least one of those in a boat. And then the type 5 is kind of a new style. The inflatable life preservers. There's automatic ones that as soon as you hit the water, they inflate. Then there's the ones that are manual and you have to pull them. Those only count if you're wearing them. If you're not wearing them, you know, if you have 3 people in the boat and you've got 3 of those in your locker or wherever in the boat and they're not on, those don't count.
So you're rowed up.
So well, potentially, probably are. Yep. Yep.
Well, that's some good news right there. What about this belt type? They've got it's like a belt, and have you had any dealings with those?
Are you talking about the inflatables or like the ski belt?
They're inflatable, but they wear, instead of coming around your neck, they're down here on your waist.
Yep, that's a type 5.
Okay,
and
type
those
5.
I'll tell you, yep, those are the least obtrusive types there are. I mean, if you're fishing, you know, if you're out in the summertime, that's, you know, that's a real good one to have. I mean, you'll have it on all the time, and it's
not hot.
right, it's not hot. There's no reason not to have that one on. You'll see those below dams a lot where adults are required, well, they're required to have that one on all times, but you're below the dam in the summer, you'll see those a lot where people have them.
Well, you mentioned the below these dams. Are there any changes that's taking place in the distance that you can fish up next to the dam in this year's rules and regulations?
Well, are you talking about like what they're doing, the Army Corps of Engineers on Lake Cumberland?
Well, I'm just speaking of any of our dams here, like Chickamauga, Watts Bar. You know, people's been able to run right up against the dam,
right?
And I heard that was going to change. Has it changed?
Well, it hasn't changed through TWRA.
Okay.
It has not. The only thing I've heard about that is on the Cumberland River, and the Army Corps of Engineers has changed, and they are, I think they will restrict in April, and I may be wrong on that, some people below the Cumberland Dam on the Cumberland River in Kentucky.
Okay.
But I have heard a lot of folks are worried about that, and our director, he didn't foresee anything. We're not pursuing anything like that. It wouldn't be us anyway. It'd be either TVA or the Army Corps of Engineers, and I have not heard anything locally for that.
Okay. All right. Well, that cleared up. I had heard a rumor that maybe Homeland Security was going to kind of limit the distance that you could get to the dam and that kind of thing. And there's a lot, and there are a lot of people been drowned and this kind of thing below these dams due to the rough water and so on. So that was just a question I had, if that was true. So I think we got another caller, and we'll, yep, okay. You're welcome to Let's Go Fishing.
Hello?
Yes. Do you have a question?
I heard the guy talking earlier about sinking the Christmas trees.
Yes, ma'am.
And what are the rules and regulations on that? You know, how many can you sink? Is there a certain place where you can sink them? Right. And I got another question. Is it only Christmas trees you can sink?
No, ma'am.
Can you sink like an old commode or something like that?
Good question. Good question.
That's a good question. Let's stay on the Christmas trees or any other trees along that lines right now.
Tires, you know.
Tires, right. You know, what we generally talk is we're talking is.
That's my question. I want to hang up and listen. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. Enjoy your show.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It is.
That is a good question. You know, the thing about sinking brush, people do that for habitat, for cover, for fish. A lot of people do it this time of year. It's kind of the first thing they do to get out in the winter, to put out some brush for crappie and bass and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people do Christmas trees. And the way it's written, and it's a TVA thing, as long as it doesn't impede navigation. You know, if you're out there in deep enough water that it's not gonna hit anybody's boat, it's not gonna stop navigation of some kind, then you're fine. As far as commodes and tires, what we're talking about, anything that's biodegradable, like that's wood. I've even seen pallets. You'll see people drive stake beds.
Yeah.
So that's the stuff that's all right. But like I say, we need to stay away from the commodes and tires and such.
All right, we're going to take another call. I hope that answered her question. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was wanting to ask the game warden there that down here at Little Emery Boat Dock, down here by Little Emery Church off of Webster Pike. I've talked to one game warden sitting down there about putting a dock in down there because there's so many boats in the summertime. You can't hardly move in that place. And they had a little boat dock in there when they had the ice spill, and it a little big old concrete thing sitting there. It got a hole knocked in or something. I don't know what it was. It wasn't no good in the first place. But what does a person do to get a dock put in down there at Little Emery?
Well, That's the, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And there's down there. But what it is, I asked that game warden about that, about putting a dock in. He told me, he said, well, if you got old people that need to get on the boat, pull up to the bank with a pontoon. Well, now if you've got grandparents, 80 years old, 60, 70 years old, do you want them to try to jump on that pontoon off from the bank and try to get hurt? I mean, they need a dock down there because it's a famous place. I mean, thousands of people put boats in there, and I just want to know how a person can get one put in there.
Good question, and then hopefully he can answer that or put you on to the people that can.
Well, what I'm familiar with that one. That's on Watts Bar, isn't it?
Yeah.
On the Emery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's out of my area. What I normally work and even where I normally fish. Is that a state? Do you know who owns that ramp? Is that a TWRA ramp or?
Yeah, it's posted down.
When I talked to the game warden sitting down, he was sitting down in his truck on the computer, and he said, you just have to pull up to the bank and let them get on. Well, that's not right. I know he's not going to have his grandparents jump off the dirt bank onto a pontoon.
Right.
I mean, it's easier to let people get on the pontoon when they put them in there off the dock, walk straight onto the pontoon. And they need to be one put in there because it's a lot of people uses that.
I agree with you. I know exactly where you're talking about. That's part of my backyard back there. Let me tell you what we ought to do next week. I've got Mike Jolly from Region 3, and Watts Bar is his lake. And not that Jason can't answer a question, but it definitely next week you need to call back here and let's put Mike Jolly on the spot because that's his territory down there. He's the man in charge.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right, buddy. We thank you for your call.
I appreciate it, man.
Okay.
All right.
All right, bye.
Yeah, I will say this: if you've got a complaint or a question along that lines, don't hesitate to call the Crossville office. That's Region 3, and talk to them about that. As officers, we're out enforcing the law and doing this and doing that. We don't have a lot of say so when it comes to that. So I would direct them to the office in Crossville, and they can call and ask them about that.
Good deal. And I'll say this, caller, right quick before we take the next call. Get you this guide, and it's got all the commissioners and Region 3 people and everything like that. So we're going to take another call. Yellow.
Yeah, I got a question about it as far as legal limits.
Okay.
Go ahead.
If you go out like 8 o'clock at night and you catch your limit before midnight, are you allowed to keep those in a live well and go ahead the next day after midnight, which would be the next day, and catch another limit?
That's a good question. The way the state defines a day is a 24-hour period. So you've got a limit until that next evening at 8 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
So when you started, if you start fishing at 8 or whatever, you start catching these fish. Because I asked the same question years ago. That was a question that I had. But we look at a 24-hour limit. You see what I'm saying? During the same day, from 8 o'clock one day to 8 o'clock the next day is what you've got. Because I wondered about night fishing myself. Now, if you take those fish, you can only catch that. You can only keep a legal limit in those 24 hours. Once those 24 hours are over, if you clean those fish, you can go back after 24 hours and catch another limit. Let's say you catch 15 crappie today. Over 24 hours later, you can go catch 15 more. And the possession limit is twice your daily bag. So technically, if you've got crappie or whatever in the freezer, you can have twice your daily bag in the freezer. But not on you while you're out fishing.
So you can't have them on the boat with you,
no,
even if you stay out over a 24-hour period. You cannot have more than that in the live well. Right. Well, it would be up to you to prove that
after 24 hours or whatever. But you know what? Generally, where that's going to come into effect is if somebody's on a houseboat or something where there's an actual freezer or something along that lines. But a limit is a 24-hour period is what that's considered.
Correct. So if you start at 8 o'clock at night, it'd be 8 o'clock the next night before that 24-hour period would be over.
Right. Yes, sir. So if you were still in possession of those fish.
Well, that's what I was kind of wondering because, you know, not many people do it, and I know there are some that would do it and do it. They'd stay out longer than 24 hours. But who's to say that, you know, I'd say it'd be probably up to the officer to say that it was not within a 24-hour period.
Right. It's you know, that's the burden of proof that an officer would have to look at on that.
Yeah.
But what we really, you know, the main thing is let's say you go fishing tomorrow morning, and you catch your 15 big crappie. You come home, clean them, and you go back and catch 15 more big crappie. At no point have you got more than that crappie. You know, that's you know what you would say double dip, and that's illegal.
Right, I understand that.
Okay.
I mean, I can understand that completely, but you know, if you did, which I know very few people would do it and do it, if you know, if any, but it could happen.
Right. Yes,
okay.
sir.
But it's so it's more or less completely up to the officer whether or not that it happens.
Well, we look at each situation, but you know, like I say, it's a 24-hour period is the day.
Mm-hmm. But you legally couldn't have more than a legal limit in your live well.
Right, that's a fact. Yes, sir. At no point can you have more than a legal limit while you're out fishing or while you are afield is what we would describe that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I appreciate it. Okay. Thank you a lot.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, we're running out of time, folks, but I'm going to let Jason give you his number, or if you'll get you this Tennessee guidebook, you can call their office and get any information that you want to get. Any more questions for their staff up there. They've got people up there that can answer anything that you didn't get to ask tonight. And next week I've got Region 3 coming in. Mike Jolly's going to talk about the stocking program, and I found out some things. You know, I'm just keep learning on this thing. And if you're liking the show, please call in or tell the sponsors that's sponsoring this thing. When you go to their business, tell them, you know, hey man, we like the show or we don't like it. And we're going to get into different kind of fishing in this show, and catfishing and trout and rockfish and bank fishing and the whole 9 yards, because that's what we're here for, and we want to keep getting this good information out from TWRA. And man, I want to thank Jason so much for being here. I've got some more sponsor shows, but I ain't going to get to them. We'll do them on the next week's show. They'll forgive us, I promise you. They're good people, and they know what we're after. So if you know, do the thing, and if you like it, let us know, and if you don't like it, let us know. So we'll be looking forward to seeing you next week, and let's go fishing.